Welcome back to the Odessa flea market, and today's episode is definitely worth watching until the very end, because this time the market is absolutely packed with vintage watches. Today I came across a lot of interesting models priced anywhere from just $3 to $30. Some of them were unbelievable bargains. Others looked promising, but the sellers wanted far too much money. And there was one item I didn't even notice while I was walking through the market. A mistake I seriously regretted later. So, let's get started. The first place I stopped was a familiar watch dealer's table. I buy interesting watches from him every now and then, so I always check to see what he's brought this week. Just look at how many watches are here. The problem is, I've seen most of these before. In fact, many of them are already sitting in my own collection, so there wasn't anything that made me want to pull out my wallet right away. I was about to move on when another table caught my attention. This seller buys items directly from local people, which means unexpected watches sometimes appear here. These are exactly the kinds of sellers I like. Sometimes they own a watch without realizing what it's actually worth. The first thing I noticed was a fake Ulysse Nardin. It certainly looks impressive, but replicas simply aren't my thing. Right next to it were 3 Raketa multi-calendar watches. Now those were much more interesting. Unfortunately, they all had gold-plated cases with noticeable wear, and the seller was asking far too much for them, so I decided to leave them where they were and keep looking. Next to them was a lady's ring watch. Believe it or not, I used to own hundreds of cases like these. Back then, almost nobody wanted them, so most of them were melted down for scrap. Today, the situation has completely changed. Collectors have started paying attention to models like this again. That's how the market works. Something nobody wanted a few years ago suddenly becomes desirable again. Then I spotted a beautiful Poljot signal, a very interesting watch, but it would require a lot of work. There's another problem too. Ever since gold prices started climbing, sellers have begun overpricing almost every gold-plated watch. Because of that, I rarely buy them these days unless the model is truly unusual or the condition fully justifies the price. So let's keep moving and see what else the Odessa flea market has waiting for us today. Along the way, we run into one of the local authorities, the market cat. He keeps a close eye on the traders, and carefully watches every customer who walks by. A few minutes later, I spot another group of watches. At first, I thought there might be something interesting hiding among them, but most of them turned out to be ordinary Chinese watches. There was also a pulsar. I often see comments saying that Pulsar isn't worth buying because it's an inexpensive mass-market brand. Personally, I don't completely agree. Even affordable brands occasionally produce interesting watches, so I only pay attention to Pulsar when I see an unusual design, a rare model, or a watch that's in exceptional condition. What do you think? Do you think Pulsar watches are worth collecting, or would you always leave them behind? Let me know in the comments. Let's keep searching. A few moments later, another table catches my eye. Just look at this beautiful Raketa. Next to it are 2 interesting Vostoks. The models themselves are nice, but the cases raise a few concerns. The chrome plating is heavily worn, and in some places the brass is already showing through. Of course, watches like these can be restored, but you have to consider the total cost. A replacement case, a new crystal, a full service, and any other parts they might need. Lying next to them is an Orient. At first glance, it looks completely convincing. Modern Chinese copies of Orient watches have become surprisingly good. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference, even by the weight. The case feels solid, the markings look authentic. The overall design closely resembles the original. But then the seller tells me there's a Chinese movement inside. That settles it. The watch stays with the seller. I ask about the Raketa. He wants $15. It's in decent condition, but at that price, it just doesn't make financial sense for me, so I leave it behind. Right then, an air raid siren begins to sound. People here have grown painfully accustomed to the constant alerts, explosions, and the uncertainty of another attack. But the market keeps going. The sellers stay at their tables, and so do we. I'll do my best to show you as many interesting tables and blankets as possible. If a table is covered with nothing but old clothes or ordinary household junk, we'll keep walking. Today's focus is vintage watches. Finally, the first purchase of the day, a Poljot with an automatic movement. The case is in very good condition. It needs a thorough cleaning, a light polish, and the crystal needs some attention. After restoration, this will be a beautiful watch. The price? Just $10. For an automatic Poljot in this condition, that's a really good deal. Just look at it. Our first successful find. Let's keep going. One of the things I love most about the Odessa flea market is that you can find absolutely anything here. Items that have been sitting untouched in someone's garage for decades, right next to genuine antiques and collectible treasures. Sometimes they're all lying on the very same blanket. A few minutes later, I spot another interesting watch. This is a Rodina with the famous crab case. Once I get home, I'll need to open the case back and see whether the original automatic winding module is still inside. Judging by the sounds, I don't think it is. That happens surprisingly often. During old repairs, watchmakers would swap parts between movements, and the automatic module would simply disappear. Even so, the watch is still worth buying. I already have an original dial for this exact model. All it really needs is a new crystal, a polished case, the correct dial, and it'll become a wonderful collector's piece. The price, only $5. Personally, I think that's almost a gift. Would you have bought this Rodina for $5? Let me know in the comments. I've visited this elderly seller many times before. His prices are usually much higher than the rest of the market, but you never know. Maybe today he'll have something special. The first watch that catches my eye is a Pobeda with a center seconds hand. I immediately notice that the dial still has its original radium lume. Watches like this can have elevated radiation levels, so I put it right back down. I don't need this particular watch, and risking it just for a nice dial doesn't make much sense. Next to it is a gold-plated lue. The seller wants $100 for it, and it still needs a complete service. For me, that's simply not an interesting deal. The Pobeda looks beautiful, but the radium completely kills any desire to buy it. So the search continues. At the next table, I spot another watch. It isn't easy to reach, but after taking a closer look, I realize it's just another cheap Chinese counterfeit. Nothing special. Let's move on. And take a look at this mask. If anyone wants it, let me know in the comments. Now here's a watch that really made me smile. Just look at this Vostok. Yes, it's in a gold-plated case, and I've already mentioned that I rarely buy gold-plated watches these days. But this is exactly the kind of model that's worth making an exception for. There are a few worn spots on the back of the case, but just look at that dial. You don't see Vostoks like this very often. Even in my own collection, I only have one similar example. After replacing the crystal, giving the case a light polish, and fitting it with a nice leather strap, this watch is going to look incredible. The price was $30. What do you think? Is that a fair price for a Vostok like this, or was the seller asking too much? Let me know in the comments. Almost immediately, another interesting watch appears. This time, it's a Vostok Precision. As soon as I get home, I'll have to open the case back and see which movement is inside. Hopefully, it's the original gold-plated Precision movement rather than the standard silver-colored version. You don't come across these very often. If the original movement is still there, this could turn out to be one of today's best finds. The price? Just $10. Honestly, I don't think the seller realized exactly what he had. How do you like this find? Would you have bought it? There's even a scrap metal collection point here at the Odessa flea market. Every now and then, I stop by to take a look. You'd be surprised what turns up among piles of ordinary metal. Watch cases, movements, sometimes even complete watches. I once watched a man walk in carrying an entire bag full of watches and sell them by weight as scrap. There could easily have been collectible pieces inside, but he never even bothered to check. Sometimes people literally throw away money without realizing it. Let's keep going. The next find is a Slava. Just look at the condition. A beautiful dial, a nice case. Even the crystal looks like it can be saved. All this watch really needs is a good cleaning and a light polish. It'll look completely different afterward. The price? Just $8. I'm starting to like today's hunt. The good finds just keep coming. And here's another interesting piece. The dial says Vostok, but the movement and the case actually belong to a Pobeda. It's a watch assembled from parts of different models. Most likely, it dates back to the 1950s. I'll open it up later and identify the exact movement and production year. The price was only $5. At that price, it's definitely coming home with me. A little farther down the market, music starts playing. It's almost certainly copyrighted, so I'll have to mute the original audio here for a while. Let's keep looking around. I really enjoy walking through this part of the flea market because there's always something unexpected waiting around the corner. And here's another interesting find. An Orient with a beautifully shaped crystal. It has a really distinctive look. The crystal will need professional polishing. The case needs a little attention too. But after restoration, this will be a very attractive watch. The price? $25. Do you think it's worth that much? Let me know what you think in the comments. There are countless old toys, clothes, and household items throughout the market. But every now and then, you also come across branded items. Where some of them came from, well, that's another question. Unfortunately, markets like this sometimes attract stolen goods, so it's always something to keep in mind. Then I spot two more interesting watches. The first is a black dial Pobeda, most likely from the 1950s. Once I get home, I'll definitely check the lume for radioactivity. The price? Just $5. The second watch is a Slava. The anniversary dial isn't particularly exciting, but that can always be replaced. The case is in decent shape, and at only $4, it would make a great restoration project or even a good donor watch. Today's flea market is really delivering. Interesting finds seem to be everywhere. And here's another Orient. This one has a beautiful original dial. The original bracelet is still there too. I believe this model dates back to the 1970s. After replacing the crystal and giving the case a careful polish, it's going to look fantastic. The price? Just $15. These are the kinds of purchases I enjoy the most because the watch already has a great foundation. The biggest problem these days isn't finding watches, it's finding enough time to restore them all. Right now, I have around 2,000 watches waiting to be cleaned, polished, serviced, repaired, or completely restored. The only person helping me is my younger brother, but he's often busy with school and his own responsibilities, so most of the work still falls on me. I'm restoring them little by little, but the backlog is enormous. A few minutes later, another watch catches my eye, another Pobeda. It's missing the case back, but the balance is still moving. The dial is beautiful. The price? Only $4. For that kind of money, it's worth buying for the movement and the dial alone. Let's keep looking. I always try to show you the flea market exactly as it is. The tables, the sellers, the real prices. But there's one problem. You can't move too slowly here. I've already noticed several resellers spreading out in different directions. They're hunting for good watches too, and if they spot something before I do, it's gone. So I have to film, keep scanning every table, and make decisions almost instantly. Then another Orient catches my eye. At first glance, it looks pretty convincing, but a few details seem suspicious. I have a feeling it's a fake. I didn't even bother opening the case back. I can't say for certain that it's counterfeit, but I don't want to take the risk. So we leave it behind and keep moving. Almost immediately, another great find appears. A Pobeda with an absolutely gorgeous dial. Honestly, I bought this watch almost entirely because of that dial. Just look at how well it's been preserved. All it needs is a new crystal, a polished case, or maybe even a better donor case, and it'll become a stunning collector's piece. The price? Only $5. It feels like today's flea market still has a few surprises left for us. By the way, this is where my younger brother spotted an Apple TV sitting on one of the blankets. He only told me about it later. I had walked right past it without even noticing. The seller probably would have asked around $5 for it. I've never really dealt with Apple TV devices before, so I didn't even recognize what it was at first. Maybe it'll still be here next week. If it is, we'll take a closer look. A little farther down, I spot a few more watches. Most of them are quartz Casios. Nothing particularly interesting, so we keep moving. I have a feeling there are still some good finds waiting for us. And sure enough, a few minutes later I come across two more watches, a Kama and a Pobeda. Yes, both have their flaws, but the Kama has a beautiful dial, and the Pobeda comes with a nice case. The price? Just $5 for both watches. At that price, why not? Even if one of them ends up becoming a donor watch, it's still a great deal. The next find comes almost immediately, another Pobeda. It's a very common model, but the condition is surprisingly good. The price? Only $3. I'm not sure how much you like this particular case design. Personally, I often use cases like these for my custom artistic dial projects. Once a hand-painted dial is installed, the watch looks completely different and becomes far more interesting. Then I spot another great find, a Raketa TV. Just look at the condition of the case. It really only needs a thorough cleaning. Most of the chrome plating is still intact. The crystal can easily be polished. After that, it'll go to my watchmaker for a full mechanical service, and then it'll be ready for its next owner. Now let me show you everything I bought today. Just look at how many interesting watches came home with me after a single trip to the flea market. There's a Poljot, several Pobedas, some rare Vostoks, a few Orients, a Rodina, a Slava, a Mayak, a Raketa, and several other interesting models. But there's one more purchase I wasn't able to show you at the market. My phone battery died, so that part never made it into the video. I also bought another Komandierski with a car on the dial. I think this makes about the 10th one in my collection. One day I should gather them all together and make a dedicated video showing every single one.
Lately, I've also been thinking about reorganizing my entire workshop. I want to buy a lot of small storage boxes and sort everything properly. Every model in its own box, matching cases together, matching movements together. Right now, everything is mixed across roughly 20 large boxes. Almost every one of them is already full. Finding one specific watch or even a single spare part is becoming harder and harder. I'd really like to bring some order to the collection. But that's a huge project. It'll probably take months if I do a little bit every day. Eventually, I'll have everything organized exactly the way I want. And with that, today's trip to the Odessa flea market comes to an end. Be sure to let me know in the comments, which find was your favorite? The Vostok Precision for just $10? The gold-plated Vostok with the rare dial for $30? The Rodina in the famous crab case for only $5? Or maybe one of the Orients? I'd also love to know, which watch would you have left on the table? Sometimes the best purchase isn't the one you make, it's the one you walk away from. That's part of what makes flea markets so much fun. Every visit is different. Every table tells a different story. And you never know which watch will turn into your next favorite restoration project. Thank you so much for spending the day with me. If you enjoyed today's episode, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. We're getting closer and closer to 50,000 subscribers, and when we finally reach that milestone, I'll be hosting a huge giveaway. I'm planning to choose 20 winners, and each of them will receive a watch from my personal collection, so your support truly helps make that happen. I hope you enjoyed today's hunt as much as I did. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you at the next Odessa flea market.